Let's get started on the next topic, asset performance management. If you're interested, come closer, take a seat. My name is Clement Schönlein, and the next 10 minutes I'll show you the aspects of connecting data, AI, for humans to create insights, really have a glimpse on 360 view on how to tackle the topic and do a closed loop remediation. So, asset performance management, why? Actually, huge potential there on the operational expenditure side. And if you listen to Stephen, 20 years experience as analyst, saying that it's one of the most potential technologies to support with this kind of savings. But there's more than OPEX. There is, of course, the topics of reduction in unplanned downtime, maintenance costs. There is workforce efficiency in that area. And we, of course, also tackle energy efficiency topics with asset performance. Asset performance is all about this. It is about not doing too little, and it's about not doing too much, right? You want to not be in firefight mode, risking downtime by doing too little maintenance activities. But you also certainly don't want to be on the too much side, spending too much work hours and costs on predictive maintenance activities. What helps you to reach this goal is certain capabilities. Starting from the left side, you want to use predictive asset monitoring. You want to go next steps from monitoring to actually fault diagnostics, right? You want to increase asset efficiency by having an optimized asset strategy, but also making use of asset libraries that help you really to go from analytics, from deviation to actions. On the workforce side, you want to digitize work procedures, and in terms of productivity, you want to make data information available to a broad audience by little and few clicks. Here at the innovation talks, it's also nice from our perspective, of course, to highlight how serious we are about this. As a performance management for Aviva is very important, and we consider ourselves front runner, and not ourselves, but also others do that. So you find us from the perspective of analysts on the right top quadrant of analyses. So, and I show you why this is the case. I show you, in the entire workflow from starting on having an asset strategy all on the left side and having real-time data available, adding actually stranded data as well. So collecting data that is in the field, not available automatically. Then you would want to take the next step, going into analytics, looking at the data, use technology to generate insights, use AI also for that, and use asset libraries to understand what you can do as a next step. And then go into the preparation to actually do your maintenance activity. And what does help you to do that? Visualization, knowing where your asset is, what's the context around it, and then also going into the field and efficiently executing the maintenance activity. So it's about from left to right, it's about asset strategy, it's about analytics, and it's about maintenance execution. And I'm going to show this in a little demonstration, starting in our tool Predictive Analytics, which generates an alert for a pump. So in the monitoring tool, I would access this very alert, where I see on the top plot an anomaly that is happening or happened. And the next step is that you want to understand from this one plot what's the reason for that. So first you can do visual analytics here, right? But you can use the system to go into the signal contribution, so you understand what tag values are responsible for the deviation. And you can also understand here on the green and blue bars, what's the fault diagnostic behind it. So the combination of deviating signal behavior is matched to a certain failure mode, right? And on top, you can also add additional information on the next steps. If you then go into the understanding the context of that very asset, you're in asset information management, so you get the 3D model of that very asset, and you immediately understand where the asset is in your process, right? But not only that is interesting for your maintenance activity that you're supposed to do, but also engineering information, and all the technical information, inspection information, criticality analysis, and so on, which can be all linked in this one tool and consumed very easily and quickly. So in this example, we jump to the P&ID of the very pump to understand in the 2D world the context of the asset we spotted the issue on, and also can check is there other assets that currently have an alert. In this case, it's not the case, so I assessed what kind of other assets are around, do I have other alerts, and want to understand what kind of inspection has to be done, what are the working steps, so I can access the documentation on there. And then also, another important piece of information in the context of asset performance management is then the criticality of my asset, right? How critical is it in my working process? So I have also accessible documentation on the FMICA sessions that have been performed. So now next step, we go into the maintenance execution, right? I would send out my mobile worker and provide the task to work on the pump. So on the mobile device, would get the work order to assess the pump. With a QR scanner, basically certifies his location, and then has a digitized work procedure based on actually what's happening at the pump at this very moment, adding additional information on the cooling flow in this case, getting a trigger warning, the cooling flow is too low, and then basically getting just supported by the system, the call to take a picture and leave a comment, also using a voice recording functionality. So this shows you the entire way from strategy, criticality, having defined how you deal with the asset, to analytics. We've seen the algorithm showing the anomaly and helping you to understand what's the failure mode behind it, and then also in the maintenance execution, supporting the mobile operator. And to finish it off, I want to highlight that if you are in preventive and reactive maintenance, mainly, you're only tackling 18% of your asset failure, because actually 82 you cannot spot with these basic maintenance strategies. So it's certainly worth it to, and a lot of for customers, it's the condition-based monitoring is the next logical step to tackle also the other 82% of asset failure that is happening. So it's all about the journey, and with Aviva, there is a big load of tools that can support you with this. If you want to know more, at the very end of the booth, we have 5 different booths to tell you more about it. Thank you very much.